Good morning and welcome to another edition of Defining Your Health. I hope you're doing good on this beautiful Tuesday morning. The sun is out. I know it's hot, but I'm sure that you're finding some way to keep cool on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Today we have once again a very special program for you. Today we are going to be talking about cycling for health and fitness, and I'm sure this is one that you're going to really love. So make sure you stay tuned. We want to welcome all of our viewers that are watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and on Channel 98 on Central Cable TV. Our guest for this morning is the very renowned cyclist, Mr. Edison Usher, who is the chairman of the Weekend Warrior Cycling Club. And he has been in cycling for over many years, and we're so happy to have him this morning to share his expertise on cycling and how it can impact you for good. Good morning, Mr. Edison.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing this beautiful Tuesday morning?
I'm good. Here, excited about the show, excited about sharing some information with the viewers.
Okay, so to our viewers at home, tell us a little bit about yourself. We know you're known very much for cycling, and you've been doing over some years, so maybe you can share with our viewers at home.
Yeah. Well, I've been around cycling for about 30 years. I've been competing between 10 to 12 years. I've also been around the entertainment business, the DJ world, and I've been on the radio for a while. But most recently, it's been more cycling centered.
Okay, and today he's going to be sharing with you some of his personal experience when it comes to cycling and also his diet in keeping up with this very active sport. So as we dive into our topic for today, Mr. Edison, our topic is cycling for health and fitness, and we want to touch a little bit on the health aspect. We know each form of exercise. Previously on our show, we had workout exercises when it comes to aerobics, cardio. But we know cycling is also a form of exercise and workout that several persons within our country, they do in order to stay fit and also to stay healthy. But let's talk a little bit about the health benefits. Based on your experience, what are some of the health benefits that can come from actively engaging in cycling?
Basically, fitness on a whole is a good thing when it comes to health and well-being. Cycling in particular is, I believe, has that little more edge because it can also be used as therapy.
Right.
As opposed to aerobics or running. Swimming and cycling is used around the world for therapy as well, rehabilitation. So there's extra benefits there when it comes to cycling.
One of the things also that I like about cycling, and we need to make this clarification before we go any further, people like to believe that cycling is only for the fit, for the strong ones, but just jumping on a bike, correct me if I'm wrong, just jumping on a bike is a form of cycling, right?
That's a form of cycling, exactly. If you ride to the store, to the grocery store, and you pick up something and ride back home, that's cycling.
Right.
At what level depends on the person that is doing it and what level they want to get into it.
Right. So when we're talking cycling today, we're talking about it in a context of a form of exercise and overall. But like what Mr. Edison does, that's when you go into the actual sport of it, correct?
The competition part of it, that's a whole different
ball game.
Technicality and understanding, yes.
Right. So when it comes to cycling, the overall, it's a low impact form of sport, right?
Yes.
Sorry, of workout.
It's considered a low impact routine of exercise as opposed to, like I said, running or aerobics, stuff like that, playing basketball, things like that. It's very easy on the joints and on the whole body structure pretty much.
So it causes less injury or strain on.
Less injury, less complication to your joints and stuff like that, your skeletal structure.
Okay, right. And it's also a form of good muscle workout. When I say good muscle workout, explain to our viewers at home what part of the body moves or works when we're doing cycling.
Oh, your entire body works out and is activated when you do cycling. People have had this misconception that you only work out your legs if you go and ride a bike for fitness or health or exercise.
Right.
And that is the farthest from the truth. If you ride the bike long enough, trust me, when you get home or when you get off, you will feel the impact of what riding an hour or half an hour does to you if you're not used to riding, right?
Right. Also, you know what I like about cycling on a whole, you can choose your level of intensity, meaning that if you want to start off slow and something that you can handle, you can do that. Then if you want to pump it up, you want to get your heart pumping and your blood flowing, you can choose what level you want to be.
Most definitely. Like I said, cycling could be leisure or just casual, like I say, maybe taking a ride up the street, riding to the park, taking a ride to the grocery store, stuff like that, and then you could get into a little more of the stress level of the routine, where you could maybe pick some mornings and you decide you're going to ride around the city for a sweat or something, or to try something new. Or take a ride up to mile 6 to one of the bridge, either Hallover or Burden Creek and back home. That's a little more, for the person that's not active or into the cycling like that. That can be very, very challenging. And of course, you got the competition part of it, where you actually have a structured program and training routine, where that is the most strenuous of the 3 levels, I would say.
Right. And we know cycling also helps with building strength, stamina, and also it does a lot in regards to persons who are suffering from different lifestyle-related diseases such as cholesterol, triglyceride, diabetes. I know of this individual who suffered triglyceride, and he has an active cycling routine. He rides during the day, also on weekends, and one time he just went to the hospital because he said, I was feeling a little bit off. And when he got his test results, because he hadn't done a triglyceride test results in a while, it was extremely high. The doctors couldn't understand that this guy actually walked in to do this test. They were like, someone like you could have got a stroke, you could have, fell down. How come you didn't feel these symptoms? But he explained to the doctor that he's actively, he's a cyclist, and the doctor said that could have been a reason as to why you've been able to keep it at bay in terms of managing your symptoms. Of course, with those type of disease, also with exercise, you have to have diet, right? So he could have been cycling, but also if he was still continuing with the diet, that could explain the reason for it was high. But what the doctors were kind of shocked about is his level, the response his body have in terms of these symptoms. So we know that cycling does, in essence, give various health benefits to persons suffering these diseases.
Most naturally, any type of physical activity helps with those chronic or disease or stuff like that. Stress to your organs because of food consumption, bad eating habits, maybe sleep deprivement, stuff like that. So cycling, like I said, especially for people with those complications, cycling would be one of the best ways to try to combat that or try to level that out a little bit.
Right. And, the last benefit that I want to touch before we go further into some other aspects of this topic is that it's very time efficient. Now, when it comes to workout, I know I've said it before. You may say, well, I don't have that time to include the workout in my daily schedule. I have to go to work, I have to drop off the kids, especially if you're a mom, a busy mom or a wife. And you say you just can't find the time. But when it comes to cycling, if you have to go to the store, if you have to go to the shop, if you have to go to work, you can get on your bike and ride. So it's very time efficient, and it's a great way of, I would say, interacting and also putting together your schedule and your leisure workout time, in a way that will be able to balance your life.
Most definitely, especially in these modern times. Everybody now wants to jump in the car under the AC, even if the store is 2 blocks away.
Right,
we jump in the car as opposed to maybe we would have taken a walk back in the day or jumping on our bikes back in the day and stuff. And over time, that creeps up on you, and then that's why all these complications come later on in life, especially for, let's say, a working class, a working parent. In the morning time, they wake up, they make breakfast, they jump in the car, they drive to work. Maybe they might just climb 1 flight of stairs to go to the office at 2nd floor, but then they sit at the desk all day,
Right.
and then walk back downstairs and then jump in the car again. And as soon as you get home, you're knocked out in the sofa, pressing the remote.
Sedimentary type of lifestyle,
So
right?
so your physical activity becomes minimal or none, and that is very bad, especially if you're not putting in the right nutrients and fuel for the body.
Right, and that's very well said. I like how you talk about the nutrients there at the end, and we're going to jump into that now, because cycling, we'll in our second half, you want to stay around for that second half, and if you have a stationary bike, you need to get that out. But in the second half, we're going to do a little workout to get our heart pumping, and Mr. Edison is going to talk us through a little bit of how we can include cycling in our daily workout. But before we go into that, we need to talk a little bit about diet, because cycling is good. There's so many resources available on the internet of its benefits, but it has to go hand in hand with your diet. A lot of people say, well, I could eat anything and just go and ride it out on a bike. That's not the best way or the approach into you having a very balanced lifestyle. So he's going to talk to you a little bit about diet, talk to you about his personal experience. Mr. Edison is a vegan, and you've been a vegan for how many years?
Going on 3 years now.
Going on, wow, that's commendable. Going on 3 years, right? And so you may want to know, but how does an active, competitive cyclist be a vegan and still, be able to keep his energy level up? So you're going to find out about that. But let's go a little bit into what we have here. What is this, Mr. Edison?
This is a basic breakfast setup that I would eat in the morning time.
Okay.
I would eat this mostly anything over a 2-hour ride.
Okay.
If it's under 2 hours, I could get away with just a banana or two, along with my energy drink, which would be 2 bottles of water on my bike.
Okay.
So what we have set up here right now is an oatmeal breakfast.
Okay.
Now, the traditional way of people eating their oatmeal is they have the oats, and they might put a little bit of raisin, and they will sweeten it with condensed milk. But it's a little different for me. I'm a vegan, and so my preparation comes a little different.
Right.
So I want to get into the first item here. It's on the table here. This is chia seed, and I buy this from the market.
Okay.
And I will show you guys how to prep it, or how I prep it before I go into the rest of stuff here.
And we know seeds like chia seed, flax seed, they have very, very, very good nutritional vitamins for the body, right?
Yes, they have a lot of what they call micronutrients.
Okay.
Those are stuff that is not in regular food and stuff like that. So usually I just go by knowledge, people usually need a measuring or whatever. But if you want to try this at home, you would take 2 pot spoon of this along with 1 cup of water.
Okay.
Right? Regular pot spoon. It doesn't have to heap up or whatever, right? So I'll just go from the size of my dish that I have here
sure.
now and put in a few. And then I seal that back. Then from there, I simply add water to it. I simply add water to this. And I will let this sit, spin over a little bit here. Then I give this a slight stir, and then I will let it sit. I will let it sit for about 10 minutes or so. Make sure everything is soaked.
Okay, and with the chia seed, I've heard. Now maybe you can let me know if it's right. I know people use this as a substitute to like egg.
Yes.
Because of the texture that it gives.
The texture it gives, and also the smell.
Oh.
And
okay.
once this is ready, I'll let you take a
Smell.
whiff of it, and then you tell me.
Okay,
if
so
it
you
smells anything like
would
egg.
set that. So that's the first thing you do before you do your oats.
Before I do my oats, just because this has to set a little while.
Okay.
But for me at home, I have this already prepared for the entire week. I have a bigger bowl,
Okay.
and I have this set for the entire week. So once I take out my portion for my oatmeal in the morning, I just put it back in the fridge, and this could stay in your fridge for an entire week.
Okay.
So if you do the 2 pot spoon to a cup of water, or 1 pot spoon to your mixture, eventually you're gonna get your own texture preference, right? I like mine just a little more thick.
Okay. So what's the purpose that you use it for in your oatmeal?
This is for extra micronutrients and stuff that I get from it. It's high in protein.
Okay.
For people that think we need meat for protein.
Okay.
So it's very.
So you're
very,
getting your protein
yes,
in.
it's very high in protein.
Okay.
So from there, then I will take my oatmeal, and then I will start my process.
Okay.
Usually, this is a cup of oats. I measured it before I came. I might need some more water though.
Okay, sure, no problem.
Have a small pot here, and I would put it in. Now, for the people at home that is not vegan or have no, I'm definitely going to need some more water.
Okay.
Or have
Can we have more water, please?
they have no idea or need or interest of becoming vegan. They can use the normal oats.
Okay.
So I'll just add a little more here quickly. And you make your oatmeal regular like you would normally at home, right?
So you would heat it up, or you leave it to set a little bit?
I think it's heating up already. Yes, it's heating up now. So we're gonna wait for the little cooking time with that, and then while our chia seeds set, and then I'll tell you about the other ingredients.
Sure.
So now I have here some cranberry that I pre-bagged just for this purpose this morning. This is dried cranberry, similar texture and density to raisins. Some people might prefer raisins.
And this doesn't have a sugary taste, right?
No, this is not as sweet as the raisin. This is a
Okay.
little more mild on the sweet part. I have some cinnamon powder.
Cinnamon, yes, that gives oatmeal a nice flavor.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all. This is cinnamon powder. And then I have for a sweetener, I have brown sugar. So normally people ask, well, why brown sugar? Brown sugar no good for you.
Right.
That again there can be some truth to it, but brown sugar is my choice or my preference
Right.
over honey.
Okay.
I used to use honey, and that might sound weird to you guys, right? But being vegan means we eat nothing from animals, and honey comes from bees,
Oh.
right? So
Okay.
even though honey has a lot of nutrients and vitamins and all of that, and it's good for you, the sugar comes from cane, which is a plant,
Okay.
right? And the brown sugar is
And
better.
it hasn't gone through the process like with the white sugar. It has a process.
Right.
that
We try to get the brown sugar as pure and raw as possible.
Okay.
To that. But for people at home, again, you can use your honey if you prefer. You could use your condensed milk if you need time to adjust. All of this process is time. It's a time-consuming stuff, right? If you try to eat the way I eat right off bat, the foods might have no taste to you.
Yeah, the
Right?
tongue takes a little while to
It
adjust
takes
to
a little
the
while.
taste.
People take hospital food, right? And then
Okay.
this is my milk.
It looks like almond milk.
It looks like almond milk. This is actually coconut milk.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
Being vegan is the vegetarian way of eating clean.
Okay.
Some vegetarians, they still eat fish, like the Rastafarian community, and they still eat fish and all of that stuff, right?
Right.
We try to eat minimum stuff from packages.
Okay. So,
so-
more like a plant-based type of diet.
Plant-based, yes, pretty much. So this is coconut milk. We do the coconut traditionally. We grate it. For me, I put it in the blender, and then we
So you
squeeze
make
it and all that.
it by yourself.
Yes,
Right,
I make
nice.
the coconut milk by myself. We try to not eat anything from packaging, right?
Okay.
But sometimes we can't do everything, so we look for the less of what is there. Anything with
Okay.
packaging, right? So the
So
oats is
How long do you keep on your oats for?
well, cook to your liking.
Okay.
This one might have to go maybe another minute or so, and then once it goes another minute, then we could turn it off, and then we'll add the ingredients.
And one thing I like about oatmeal, Mr. Edison, I really like oatmeal, but I prefer it raw than cooked. I like
Okay.
to put like, especially when I'm coming to work and it's very busy, I don't have time to sit and have a breakfast. I would take my cup, I would put some oatmeal, and I will put my almond milk, and I put, just like you said, cranberry. I like to get the dried cranberry and the raisin, and I will just shake it up. I don't even put honey because with the almond milk, sometimes it's already have like
Yes.
a little sweet taste, so I just put that. And that's a very quick on the go breakfast, and it keeps me full until noon.
And that is another way. Maybe you might not have time to cook it in the morning. If you have a blender, or what they have a little stuff they call the bullet, that is perfect for the way you want to do it.
Right, and to our viewers at home, I want you guys to know, we're talking about this, and all these stuff that he has here, they have very good nutritional components of them, and I know for the oatmeal, it is especially for persons suffering with like diabetes and different, as we mentioned before, lifestyle diseases, things like replacing your breakfast with all those heavy things and stuff like that.
Yes.
A simple oatmeal and stuff like that could get you on your way. It keeps you full, but also it helps, especially when it comes to your fiber.
Yes.
And getting that fiber intake in, it really assists with that. And also, as you can see on all your labels, and I'm pretty sure there's some truth to it, that oatmeal helps to lower cholesterol.
Oh, definitely. Most
Right?
definitely,
So
yes.
if you're suffering from that, this is a good substitute for a breakfast.
Yeah. So I want you to feel the texture now of the
Okay.
chia, and maybe you could
Oh
take
yeah,
a smell. See, it's a
it's
little
thick.
more. Yes.
It's
Right?
thick and gooey. And the smell, oh yeah, right.
Yeah. Almost have a
Like
egg
that,
smell,
that
right?
egg smell, yeah. Not
Yeah.
as the egg smell, you
Right,
know,
not as
rank
raw
as that,
or
you
rank
know,
or
but
right.
yeah, it has some.
Yeah, so the reasons for putting in all this stuff, of course, we need extra energy as cyclists on the road, and we will burn this out. Like I said, on a 2-hour ride, we will burn this out. By the time I get back home, I would eat some fruits and stuff like that just to hold over to meal time, right? But basically, I'll turn this one off now. I'll turn off the oats now, and then we'll see if we could get it together.
Okay. Do you let it cool before adding your different?
Well, the only thing I'm going to add right now is the cranberry.
Okay.
It will help to break down a little bit in it. And I will add the cranberry in that now at this time.
Ooh, look at that! Look at that! Making your bowl colorful.
Yeah, exactly,
Colorful. And if you've been watching Defining Your Health for some time, you would tell that we had a dietitian on, a nutritionist from La Malus Hospital, and she always said, make your food colorful.
I can also add a little bit of cinnamon now.
Give it that nice flavor.
Yeah.
So I want to tell him here, Mr. Edison, being vegan doesn't mean that your food is bland.
No,
it has taste. It has taste, and it has,
food has,
you know,
taste, texture, body, everything.
Everything.
The main part of all of this is getting your nutrients in.
Smelling that nice aroma of the cinnamon.
Yeah. So mix that up. And I know we strapped on time a little bit, but we're almost there with the finished finished product, right?
We need to let our viewers at home see this finished product.
All right. So now we will use that. We could use that cup, or we could use this little bowl if you want to see a better
yeah, let's use the bowl.
breakdown of it. Right.
And then when they're going out, let's say before maybe they cannot finish all their oatmeal before they go and do their workout, they can also take along with it, so that after, you know, they need a little boost.
Something like this, we put in a little pouch. This is what we call an ideal bag.
Right.
So if we can't eat the whole thing, or we don't want to left the rest, we would put the rest in here, and we could put it in our little pouch in our pockets, right? And that helps us along the way. Okay. You can even do that.
Your own power, like a power bar.
Yeah, pretty much. You can even do that at work.
Right.
Take a little extra, of course. Well, you could take your bowl because you have the fridge. Yeah. So now we have the oatmeal in there that is mixed with the cinnamon and the cranberry, and now we're gonna take some chia.
This is the one that has the micronutrients.
Yes, this has the micronutrients.
Going to boost you.
We'll put two little servings in there. And then
a little bit
of
coconut milk.
The milk would be my last thing. What I would do now, I would put some banana.
And this is also optional, and maybe if you don't want to.
Yes, this is optional. You don't need a whole different knife. You could use your same spoon, and the banana is soft enough. You could just.
So you have your potassium in, you have your micronutrients, you have your fiber,
exactly.
You have your antioxidant, because the chia seed also have antioxidant in there. And protein, you're getting protein from the coconut as well.
You're getting your fats from the milk.
Fats as well. Right? It's a whole full base breakfast.
Yeah, we mess up the whole table, but that's
that's okay. That's okay.
So, so that's your little bowl of oats there for the morning.
Right, and I need to clear this up so that the viewers at home can see this healthy goodness.
Yes.
that vegans use as their breakfast before they go out for that pour ride, right?
And of course, you don't have to use the coconut milk. You could use almond milk. You could use soy milk.
Right.
Or
It's to your preference.
I mean, there's people that you got to be realistic. There's people that's gonna still use their condensed milk and stuff like that. That is okay. You don't have to
Gradually,
do
yeah.
a drastic life change. I don't know if you want to try a little bit, or we might need a little sugar.
Okay, so you can
And then you sweeten to taste from there, right?
Right. So we're putting it right here for our camera to get you to let you see a full, complete meal there. And I really want to explain to our viewers at home the purpose of this little demonstration this morning, because they have to understand that when they decide to do cycling as a form of workout, as he mentioned before, cycling encompasses using the entire body. And what happens is, just as we mentioned, it helps with lowering cholesterol and your sugar levels and stuff like that. You lose a lot, especially in your calories. And so after you're finished with the ride, you may notice that you feel, I know it, I have experienced it, guys, you feel like intense hunger, intense thirst, you're really low on energy. And so you want to put back what you lose, but you want to put back with really beneficial stuff. We don't want to just put anything back. We want to put back what we have lost in the most nutritious way that we can.
Exactly. And a lot of people make that mistake, especially the people that try to lose weight. They cut out a lot of foods, and sometimes they miss meals.
Right.
And that is not the right way to start your diet routine or change a healthy lifestyle, right?
Right.
You need your food to put back your energy and your fuel, so you could be as a fuel and ready for your next workout.
Right.
Because if you drain your body all the way down one day, tomorrow you can't do the same effort, and then your workout routine becomes more difficult, apart from the stress, because then you don't have the energy to want to push somewhere.
Right. And so there you have it. This is our first part of our program for today. We're talking about cycling for health and fitness, right? And I want to thank Mr. Edison for sharing this demonstration with us. We're going to go on a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to be on those bicycles. He's going to be walking us through a quick little workout that you can do. So be ready for that. We're going to be right back. Do not change the channel.
A study published in the Journal of the American Dietetic Association found that toddlers aged 12 months and older consumed a third of their daily calories from snacking between meals, with the snacks becoming less nutritious as the children got older. Dietary patterns low in fruits and veggies and high in sweets and saturated fats began to develop between the ages of 12 months and 24 months, and this pattern tended to be established by 24 months. That's a fact. But there's hope. Parents can establish the foundation for a healthy diet early in life when eating habits and preferences are being formed. Simple dietary changes, such as offering more nutritious snacks, can help prevent obesity and chronic disease in our children. So switch the gummy bear for blueberries and see them growing healthier and happier.
My name is Amine Anderson, and I'm the General Manager for our Yadpa bookstore here in Belize City. At our bookstore, we cater at offering books that can help you live a healthier lifestyle. We offer books that can help your marriage and your family life to be even more sweeter. We haven't forgotten the kids, we have books for them, and we also have books that will help you grow in your spiritual life. We're located inside the headquarters of the Belize Union of Seventh-day Adventists that is located on 3A Street, Kings Park. Our phone numbers are 223-3048, or you can get us on our cell number at 660-2378. Our working hours are from 8 to 12:15 from Monday to Thursday, 1 to 4:15, and on Friday, we're open from 8 to 12. You can also find us on Facebook Our name for our page is Yadpa Belize. ATN has partnered with us, and for every purchase made using the code ATN21, a proceed will be going to them to help them further in their ministry as well. So feel free, come visit us. I'm sure you're going to find something that will be a blessing to you all. Thank you.
Are you taking heart medicines? Medications can give us a false sense of security. Even if a person takes heart medicines, eating a lot of saturated or trans fats, fast and junk foods, red and processed meats, sweets, and processed foods will still increase inflammation and make cardiovascular disease worse. That's a fact. But there's hope. A study of more than 31,000 adults found that you can substantially reduce cardiovascular recurrence beyond drug therapy alone by eating a diet rich in vegetables, fruits, and fish, and low in meats. A heart-healthy diet reduced their risk of dying from cardiovascular disease by 35%, a new heart attack by 14%, heart failure by 28%, and stroke by 19%. So eat your veggies. A healthy heart starts with a healthy meal.
These are indeed troubling and uncertain times. The COVID-19 pandemic rages while the death toll surges. Many lives have been lost to violence in the streets. Homes have been terrorized with domestic abuse. Natural disasters in the form of storms and fires have devastated our land, a constant reminder of the times in which we live. Jesus is soon to come. Here in the Belize Central Mission, our mandate remains the message to all the world. In the midst of all these tragedies, we have not relented from our mission of preaching, evangelism, and ministering to our youth and community. The Central Belize Mission has been blessed to reach great milestones to this end, including the launch of our very own Adventist television network, which now serves as one of the mediums in carrying the gospel to all the world. ATN has allowed us to continue this work by streaming various spirit-filled programs via its Facebook and YouTube account, as well as on cable TV. This has allowed many individuals to have come into a saving relationship with Jesus Christ through the virtual evangelistic campaigns and revivals. As we contemplate these breakthroughs, we want to encourage everyone, whether you are a regular member, visiting online viewer, or a community member, to double up with God in your Christian stewardship. God has been faithful to us, and His mercies are renewed each day. We may have fallen short in our faithfulness in the giving of our time, talent, or finances, but now is an opportune time for us to double up with God. Let's double up with Him by returning what is right in tithes and in our love gift offerings. Contact your local church pastor or church treasurer to find out how you can give. If you have been blessed by the ministry at ATN and would like to partner with us, you can join the ATN family by giving your charitable gifts. Giving to ATN can be done in multiple ways. On your tithes envelope, there is a designated line for ATN. You can place your donations along with your tithes and offering. Sign up to become a monthly or a one-time sponsor using the ATN donor pledge form that is provided in a pinned post on our Facebook page. After you sign up, we will contact you to make arrangements of how you can make your donations. You can mail your checks to House B, Upper Flat, 374 Mayflower Crescent, Lake Garden, Ladyville Village, Belize District, or drop by our studio on weekdays, Mondays to Thursdays between 9 to 5 p.m. at our ATN office or Central Belize Mission office. You can also make direct transfers marked for ATN via online banking or in-person deposits to the following bank account number: For our international donors, you can make your donations via the PayPal app or by sending donation to BZ Adventist TV by means of the following link, using your PayPal account or your credit and debit card. Thank you for your generosity, and we pray God's richest, most abundant, and continuous blessings on you and on the Belize Adventist Television Network as we seek to engage in meaningful, relevant, and life-changing ministry in today's world.
An hour between eating and sleeping may lower stroke risk. A 1,000-patient study presented at this year's European Society of Cardiology Congress found that waiting 60 to 70 minutes before going to bed after eating reduced the risk of stroke by 66%. And for every 20 minutes more that you wait, stroke risk drops another 10%. That's a fact. But there's hope. Here's a health tip that takes little effort. Wait at least an hour to go to sleep after eating. Not only will you cut your risk of stroke, but previous research has shown that you'll also decrease your risk of acid reflux disease and sleep apnea. So have an earlier dinner and a better night's sleep.
Welcome back to Defining Your Health. Today we've been talking about cycling for health and fitness. And in our first part, we spoke to Mr. Edison Usher, the chairman of the Weekend Warrior Cycling Club. And he spoke a little bit about cycling, the health benefits of cycling. He even shared his diet as to what he takes for breakfast before he goes cycling. And now, as you can see, we have on our cycling gear because we want to help our viewers at home to know that this is something that they can put into their schedule. It's quite easy. It's quite fun. And so, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that. And Mr. Edison is going to have me, I hope I can keep up, pedal a little bit and to show you what cycling involves.
All right. Basically, we have both bikes set up here. And this is called a home trainer. This is a device you use at home if the weather conditions is not too right outdoors, or if you have time constraints and can't make it out on the road for your routine. We could use one of three things. It doesn't necessarily have to be a road bike like this. You could have a stationary bike at home, or for the people that might not have that but have either a treadmill or an elliptical bike, you could also incorporate something like that at home, right? So with that said, my bike or our bikes is hooked up to the home trainer through the rear wheel axle. This has also been pre-measured and the tension has been set right for each individual bikes. And that allows us to pedal in one spot for the duration of our workout for the morning or evening or whichever time of the day you might have available, right? There's components and equipment on the bike itself that could help you as you get a little more advanced to the routine, the exercise routine, or if you're really thinking about doing some serious training or some serious exercise. Now, not because we are on the home trainer means it's any less productive than being on the road. It is actually more difficult, and I'll explain that in a little bit. As you can see, we both have a head unit on our bikes. That is our brain of the bike. We call it the brain because that tells us everything that the bike is doing and the body, right? We both have heart rate strap, and I will show you what that looks like here. This is to measure your heartbeat and your efforts. And mine is the Wahoo brand. It's compatible and made for the head unit that I'm using. You strap that around your chest, just enough tension for you to breathe adequately and freely. Not too tight, because then once you get into the more tense workout, then it becomes a little more stress if it's too tight. So you eventually, when you get one of these, you could make the adjustment according to your workout and your structure, right?
And question with that, Mr. Edison, because the heart rate, as you mentioned here on a speedometer, it gives you the time, how much time you're on the bike or your workout time, gives you your speed. Well, I guess the distance will go when you're on the actual road, right? And average speed, the cadence, but the heart rate, that's what I like about it here. So for a person who is a little bit more of age and they would like to do it, but they're kind of really worried about getting their heart pumped up too much, what the heart rate monitor does it notify you when you're getting, in dangerous levels?
Yes, you can set your zones, what they call zones.
Okay.
Like for instance, my maximum heart rate that I could sustain is about 175 beats per minute.
Okay.
Let's say somebody has a condition where they just need to move their limbs with moderate or minimal exercise.
Right.
Then on the unit, I could set a heart rate to probably 120 beats per minute. And whenever it gets to 120 beats per minute, it's going to do a beep, right? It's going to alert me that I'm at the zone that I set. So you're either going to keep your same tempo. If you want to stay safe, you're going to back off a little bit so your heart rate could go back down a little bit so you don't hit that target. And that keeps you in a safe zone pretty much, right?
And I noticed also on the bikes, there's the different shifts that makes your pedal, tell us a little bit there, makes it harder, easier?
Well, both. This is our brakes lever and it's our gear shifter as well. This shifts the gears and it stops us, right? And for mine is set up, mine is what they call a mechanical, and I believe you have the electrical version. Mine is the mechanical. If I click the inner lever like this, it clicks my gear one down heavier to the back. If I push both lever in like this, it goes back up to a lighter gear, right? So this back here for gears, we call it the transmission.
Oh, okay.
Right? Or gearbox. So that's what this one on the right does. And the one on my left hand, this activates the one on the sprocket, the bigger chain ring. I click both levers, that takes me up, or it's supposed to take me up to my big chain ring.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know, it's not, okay, there it goes. Goes up, right? And I'm on my bigger chain ring now. And that makes the pedaling more difficult. There's definitely more tension.
More leg work.
And I can, of course, go down the road faster on the bigger chain ring. And if I click the small one, it takes it back down to the small chain ring, right? The small chain ring is used for basically warm up. Maybe if you reach a difficult hill, the big chain ring gear might be too heavy. You need to go down to the small one. And then for the big one, of course, if you're racing, you need the speed, so you're going to go up on the big one.
Okay, so let's say, so the trainer, does it work only for bikes like these? Or?
No. The trainers now, pretty much, they come universal. Okay. There's an adjustment on the back, on the small wheel to the back. Okay. I can put a mountain bike on here or a beach cruiser. And I could just turn the knob to the back, and that adjusts the tensioner to the back to touch the wheel, and it gives the amount of pressure that I want on my wheel. So a beach cruiser or a mountain bike or your road bike.
Okay, so this is for, let's say, I know cyclists use this for when it's raining, right? It's not always safe to be out on the road,
Yes.
Especially when you're racing. But let's talk a little bit about when we go out on the road. When you do the different work. Well, I know you guys are way past what we will call the amateur
Casual riding.
level, the casual riding. But let's say I would be interested, but I want to go on the road. I want to know the know-hows. What do you do? What gears do I need? How do I protect myself? How do I start? How do I transition? Can you talk to us a little bit there?
Yeah. Well, the main thing starts from getting used to your bike. Of course, the clicking lane style of the pedal is a little more different from what they call it, the coaster bike, the beach cruiser, the mountain bike, right? For instance, we have a different shoe on, and
Right.
our shoe is clipped into our pedals, and it's fixed. So if I
Okay.
try to pull up, it's not going to come off.
Stay on the
So,
pedals.
Your comfort level on the bike plays a big role with your routine that you're going to do, or
Okay.
how you're going to plan your ride or future rides.
Okay.
From that, when you get on the road, there's always the warm-up period. So you want to just drizzle light to moderate, just to get the legs warmed up and stuff, and go easy, right? Then when you're ready to get into your workout, your fitness level determines a lot of how your pace is going to be. You're going to go a fast pace, a slow pace, medium pace, stuff like that. A lot of people start out too hard, too fast sometimes,
Okay.
and then by the time they reach a turnaround point, it's so difficult to reach back home that they don't even want to go back.
Right.
Day
You want to
two.
go to the next day. That's
Right.
it for me.
So my advice is to start moderate and know your limits. Like I said, the heart rate zones, the elements, the wind, direction that it is blowing, all those have to be taken into consideration. Your fuel that you have in your back pocket or on the bike. If
The
you
water.
have,
They need to drink
if
the
you,
water.
yes, if you have only one bottle of water, then you know you can't go to Cairo and back with one bottle of water, right? So
Right.
you pick, maybe you could reach mile 10 and back with one bottle of water. Food is essential. On the back of the jerseys, we have pockets where we put our energy bars, bananas, and stuff like that, energy gels, determine on the length of ride you want to do.
Some people may say, but why are those guys walking around in tights? What's the purpose of the clothes fitting you very tightly?
The sport of cycling has very much to do with aerodynamics.
Okay.
Aerodynamics meaning you want the minimum drag on your body and on your bike position as possible. For instance, if you ever driven a car and you put your hand outside the window like this, you can feel the strength of the wind taking your hand back like that. You're gonna really, depends on the speed of the car, you're gonna really have to hold your hand firm to keep it steady. But the more you pull in your hand, the less effort you have to use to do that, right? And basically, it's more or less the same thing. Even in NASCAR and stuff, drafting is important and aerodynamic is important. So if I have a bigger shirt, let's say I had on a regular t-shirt, and it's, as we going, it's blowing in the wind like
Yeah,
this,
the wind is going up.
then that becomes more drag on my body. It becomes like something equivalent to what a sail is on a sailboat that I'm taking on my body. So it's going to make my efforts more difficult, and it's going to slow down my speed. So I'm going to get tired faster.
Okay. And I noticed the gloves, for one, my husband is a cyclist, and I remember one time he had a fall, and the gloves protected him from getting a lot of scratches, from the stone, the gravels on the road. And let's talk a little bit about safety. I have on my helmet, and as I mentioned, the glove. Is it really important to have on these things every time you get on a bike going on the road?
Very, 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 very important. Like for me right now, I have no gloves and I have on no helmet. But the only time I'm going to do that is when I'm inside on the home trainer.
Right.
Because I'm fully in control of what I'm doing. Now, if I go outside on the road, it's a whole different ball game. Because I might leave out alone, but at some point I might buck into somebody on the road that is riding. So they might be on my wheel, or I might be on their wheel. And accidents happen. Remember, these are mechanical stuff.
Right.
Something can fail, which cause the person in front of me to stop rapidly, and where my reaction time was not enough.
Right.
And which may cause a spill. So you want to protect your head, you want to protect your hands and stuff. You make sure those parts are covered. So always wear your gloves when you go riding. Always wear your helmet when you go riding outdoors. A dog might run out. You could be the safest rider as possible. A vehicle might come be in front of you and cut away from a pothole, and you don't see it, and you fall in there and may cause you to spill, right? So those are the minimum stuff we could use for as maximum impact of protection as possible.
Right. And as we're winding down here, Mr. Edison, one thing that I want our viewers to take away from this program today, let's talk just about your personal experience. Since you've been riding, you said you've been around bike for over 30 years, but competitively, it's been 10 to 12 years. Those years, how have you seen cycling benefiting you health-wise?
Tremendous benefits. One of the main benefits that people overlook is the resting process. If I wasn't riding or competing, I would have probably been going to sleep 12 or 1 at night, because I don't have to wake up early in the morning. Right? So unconsciously, that is one of the most benefits that people don't pay much attention to.
The discipline that comes with the
discipline.
sport.
So because I know I'm going riding in the morning, I try to have my food and everything before a certain time. By 8 or 9 o'clock maximum, I'm already in my bed. The other benefits is, of course, keeping all my vitals and stuff under control. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have low blood count. I don't have heart problems, respiratory problems, triglycerides, cholesterol, none of those. So those parts is tremendous gains and very, very, very important things.
So it has overall, it has helped you to live a balanced lifestyle, and especially in conjunction with your diet. And so you have seen that it has affected you both physically and mentally, I would say.
Exactly. Keeps you out of trouble too.
Right. And in the cycling, the Weekend Warriors Cycling Club that you are, it's like a group of, it's like it becomes family. It's something that you can engage. As we mentioned earlier, it's a fun way to exercise.
Most naturally. The whole family environment is what we bring, even though we get competitive at times. At the end of the day, it's for people that is not that competitive and want to do cross country and all of that. they have an outlet to still get their exercise in and still do a little fun competition. So with a family environment added to it. So it's a very well-rounded club. Can be more, and we will add other stuff as it goes along.
Right.
But for overall, it helps us stay well, right? It's
Right.
Weekend Warriors. It's for non-elite
Yeah.
riders, right?
Right. And so you would have fun working out with companions, helping you to reach that overall goal of keeping healthy. And I just want to thank you, Mr. Edison. We want to say on behalf of AFTN, we are really happy that you have accepted the invitation to share a little bit about the sport you love so much with us, and to be an encouragement to our viewers at home that they too can consider cycling as a form of exercise, and one in which you will have fun, but at the same time that you will achieve your goals of staying active. Remember, that is our goal for this entire Defining Your Health show, to encourage our viewers to stay active and to keep healthy. So once again, thank you, Mr. Edison.
Thanks for
And
having
we
me.
want to thank our viewers at home for once again tuning in. We see you next week, Tuesday, for another edition of Defining Your Health. Keep active.